800 yards. Passing defense was bad, so a complete overhaul on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and you see the rankings right there. They struggled when it came to allowing teams to score yardage per game, but hope springs eternal because there's a lot of excitement because of the new defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, coming in. He's coming in with an attacking style defense. You see some of the stops, just 2 years, the last 2 years, New Orleans Saints D-line coach. Go back to 2018 to 2021, Florida defensive coordinator. He's going to have an attacking style defense. They brought in some new players. He said the players that are haulovers, they've really brought into his system, and he believes that with his front four, this is the deepest D-line that they had, they're going to be able to get after the quarterback.
Todd Grantham, the new defensive coordinator. There's a new offensive coordinator, Doug Meacham. And we will see the Oklahoma State offense first. UT Martin wins the toss. They defer to the second half. Brandon Sims is the kickoff specialist for UT Martin. An FCS program who's won 4 straight conference championships. They're no joke, Lige.
Not at all. UT Martin is one of those top teams in the FCS. They lost in the second round of the playoffs last year, so there are some changes on the offensive side when you talk about receivers and quarterback, but Coach Jason Simpson always gets this team to play at a high level.
And the 2025 season is underway for Oklahoma State. Sam Jackson, the return man, out close to the 30-yard line. And it does look like Haas Haney, after a 29-yard return, will make his first collegiate start here tonight. He's a redshirt freshman, a transfer from TCU. New offensive coordinator Doug Meacham was the wide receivers coach at his last stop, TCU, a season ago.
And James, he said this is the fastest quarterback he's ever coached. We saw it last year. They used him in 4 games. The Cincinnati game, I believe, he had 8 carries for 48 yards. He has a different type of speed when he gets into the open field.
New running back for Oklahoma State, a hurdle from Caleb Hicks. A gain of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. That's just the 3rd collegiate carry for Caleb Hicks, who was a highly touted prospect out of high school, went to Oklahoma, transferred after he entered the portal. He signed with Oklahoma State less than 24 hours later, and he picks up 1 here. Stevenson, the stopper.
That was a nice job by Stevenson right there, filling in that hole, coming downhill from the safety position, because that looked like that play could go for a bigger distance. He does a good job coming downhill in the alley is what we call it, and making that tackle to hold them to a small gain.
Oklahoma State's first 3rd down comes on their opening drive. Twist up front, Haney. Too far out in front, it draws a penalty flag downfield. It was intended for Christian Fitzpatrick, the Marshall transfer at wide receiver. And that is Lamarion Pierce, one of the top cornerbacks in all of FCS, who's penalized. All right, time now for Lige's do's and don'ts. What are your keys to the game?
The do's for the Oklahoma State offense. Get your young quarterback in a rhythm early. They just tried to go out there to Christian Fitzpatrick on the outside. Neither one of these young quarterbacks has actually thrown a pass in the game, so you want to get them in rhythm early.
Haney delivers a strike. Terrell Davis on the receiving end. And no, Oklahoma State is knocking on the door. A gain of 34 yards. And the refs will come charging in to blow this play dead. Oklahoma State burned a timeout. Well, that last pass play for Oklahoma State quarterback Haas Haney, his first collegiate completion.
Yeah, it's a simple scramble drill, right? He doesn't like what he to the right, he rolls out to the left. And Terrell Davis just finds space out to the right sideline. Right there, he beats Joel Castleberry for a big explosive catch and run, but that's a nice job by Haas Haney getting outside the pocket. We talked about how athletic he was in the beginning of this game. Right there, you see the athletic ability to get outside and throw the ball down the field.
Terrell Davis is a transfer from a Division II school, Central Oklahoma. He led all of NCAA in receptions and yards a season ago, albeit at the D2 level. 1st and 10, Cowboys. Haney snap throw. Weaving outside the numbers, Fitzpatrick reels it in. Gain of just a yard.
Nice job by safety Josh Hastings. He was actually the green dot on defense. It's rare that the safety's the green dot. But when we talk to defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge, he says Josh never comes off the field, so we're going to give him the green dot. So he's the guy calling the defense for the Skyhawk defense.
This has been a nice opening drive for Oklahoma State. Their offense scored touchdowns just twice on its first possession a season ago in any game. On 2nd down, run play up the middle, and Oklahoma State has marched down to the 18-yard line. That's a gain of 3 for Hicks.
Big 3rd down for this Skyhawk defense. You're backed up in the red zone. Last time on 3rd down, you got a pass interference that gave the Cowboys life on offense. Let's see what defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge does. He went man coverage and blitz. This time I expect him to go zone coverage and let the front 4 guys rush.
3rd and 6 for the Pokes. Haney straight back, wings it, completes it for a 1st down. Gavin Freeman reels it in, and it's 1st and goal after a gain of 10.
So James, he actually brings 5 and goes man coverage again. That's a nice job by Freeman, just creating that space. We call that a speed out. That's a timing-based throw. Nice job by Hoss Haney, too, throwing in timing there.
Haney chucks his first incompletion of the night as Oklahoma State goes tempo, and it brings up 2nd down and goal. Haney is 3 for 4 on this drive, 45 yards. The redshirt freshman, transfer from TCU, played in 4 games to preserve that red shirt. This is the 8th play of this opening drive for Oklahoma State. Haney keeps it, wiggles to the 5-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 6, a gain of a couple.
Yeah, I want to circle number 11, Yasa Pooney. He does a really good job. You can see him from right to left. He was able to slip that blocker coming around. That was quarterback power. He slips the blocker, gets underneath, and makes a big play for the Skyhawk defense.
3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. And Oklahoma State, the thing that's different this year, they have a lot of options with the dual threat quarterback. They have bigger receivers, a monster tight end in Josh Ford. Empty backfield, 2-by-3. Haney outside the pocket. He has elite speed and a touchdown. A 6-yard quarterback keeper, and Oklahoma State is on the board.
This is a nice job by offensive coordinator Doug Meacham. He sends a receiver in motion. That means it's man coverage. And we talked about Hoss Haney, right? His athletic ability. Right there, if you're the outside blitzer, you got to make sure you attack the upfield shoulder. You don't do that. Look at the speed that Hoss Haney has. He gets to the left of the outside and gets into the end zone.
Logan Ward on for the point after. The Oklahoma State offense scored only 2 touchdowns on its first possession of the game all of last season. They go 9 plays, 71 yards over 3.5 minutes to strike first here in this one.
Well, James, you would have never known that was his first time throwing a pass in the game. He looked real comfortable in Doug Meacham's offense. Look at the left side of the screen. Number 29, Caleb Alamo for the UT Martin Skyhawks. He's a guy that has contain. They're sending 5. He gets too thick on the tackle right there. He loses contain. And because of the speed that Hoss Haney has, he gets to the end zone. We talked about it before, James. Multiple 3rd downs. Surprise, defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge continues to go man coverage. Because when you do that and you lose contain, that's what happened with a guy like Hoss Haney who has that athletic ability.
3rd And how about the poise and just the overall comfort level for the redshirt freshman quarterback?
Correct. I love what Doug Beacham did, right? Got him some easy throws, some screen plays right there. Also got him an off-platform throw to the left where he found Terrell Davis. And there, man coverage, he knows once that guy blitzes and gets thick on the tackle, there's nobody outside to contain. Let me just use my athletic ability, get outside and get to pay dirt.
Wes Paul kicking off for Oklahoma State, boots it into the end zone for a touchback. UT Martin, the Skyhawks, they are quarterbacked by Jace Bauer, a transfer from Sam Houston. He was expected to be the starter last year at Sam Houston. He got beat out. Before that, he was a really solid quarterback at Central Michigan. Here he is to wrap up his career at UT Martin.
He's a guy that's also athletic as well, over 490 rushing yards in his career at Central Michigan alone. So he's a guy that they'll run some quarterback power with quarterback counter, and he's not the smallest guy either. He's like 215, 220 pounds, James, so he's not easy to bring down. Coach Jason Simpson said he was excited for Jace to get this opportunity today.
His dad was an NFL scout. He was his high school head coach. First and 10, UT Martin's first offensive play of the season. They swing it out in the flat. And it draws a penalty marker, two of them. John Gentry, the running back, leaking out of the backfield. A gain of 6 on the play, plus more with the penalty.
And I love that first down play, right? You're the underdog on the road. Bootleg, get your quarterback an easy throw to the flat.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Correction, the foul is on number 5 of the defense, number 5.
That's Brian McCoy, the transfer from Akron.
And that's the definition of horse collar. And it's tough for a defensive player, right? You're trying to run down, they run it back from behind. You go to grab on Clark, but he got inside of that shoulder pad and unweighted his hips. So that was an easy call for the refs.
First and 10, UT Martin. Handoff, Gentry, who was the backup running back last year. Off right guard for a couple. Malik Charles makes the stop for Oklahoma State. Another newcomer from West Georgia.
Yeah, Malik Charles right there with an effort play on the backside. That was just a simple zone play. The tackle blocks down. He just comes down the line of scrimmage and makes a play. Unique story about him, James. Only played in 3 high school football games. He was a hooper. He was a basketball guy and a volleyball guy. So didn't really play high school football. Transferred to a few different schools. Made the transition from tight end to defensive line. And in West Georgia, that's when he really took off at defensive line last year.
And they had to beef him up even more here at Oklahoma State. He's gained about 30 pounds of muscle since he arrived. Stretch play, Gentry puts his shoulder down and rumbles to midfield. A hard-earned couple more for the Skyhawks. Sets up a manageable 3rd and 5 for UT Martin from right at the 50.
And this is the scenario that Coach Todd Grantham talked about. He talked about this being the deepest defensive line. Well, this is where you shine. 3rd and long, first 3rd down of the season for this Cowboys defense. It'll be interesting. The way we talk to him in those meetings, I can see him just rushing for and letting those guys get after the quarterback.
UT Martin is just outside the preseason top 25 at the FCS level. And they burn their 2nd timeout.
Charge timeout, UT Martin, 2nd and a half, media timeout.
3rd and 6 for UT Martin. When we come back, Oklahoma State leads it by a touchdown. Mike Gundy in season 21 here at Oklahoma State. He's never lost a season opener here at home. A complete overhaul defensively. Really, their entire season was derailed early on last year with injuries to linebackers Colin Oliver and Nick Martin. So they bring in Todd Grantham as the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and Todd Grantham, really enjoyed talking to him and his philosophy about attacking and being physical and bringing some aggression back to this Cowboys defense.
3rd and 6. UT Martin's opening drive. Bauer, he's a capable runner. A collision right at the marker, and it looks like he's got the first down. Needed 6 and picked up 6.5. Malik Charles missed a tackle that would have kept him short. Let's look at your do's and don'ts when UT Martin has the football.
For the dudes, be aggressive on offense. Last year, they played Kansas State in the opener, and they took a shot down the field. You see it right here, already on third down. They ran the ball, which means they probably want to go for it on fourth down, so be aggressive on offense. And don't, for the Oklahoma State defense, don't let last year's issues on defense seep into this season. Oklahoma State's defense really struggled last year, especially the last 9 games. They gave up explosive plays and struggled. If a bad play happens, drop it, forget about it, and just adjust.
Gain of 3 for the UT Martin running back, John Gentry. And UT Martin, Lige, they are very proud of the fact that they always have a strong ground game.
Yep.
The last 4 seasons, they have had 4 different running backs rush for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and the quarterback's also part of that run game as well, so they really want to pound the rock.
Bauer wants to spin it. Ejected from the pocket, running out of sideline, and he's shoved out of bounds around the 40. And look at the energy from the Oklahoma State sideline.
And that's just great hustle by Wendell Gregory, number 4. He was the right end and chased Jace Bowers all the way to the left side of the field and got him out of bounds. Because Jace looked like he was going to throw the ball, but then decides to turn it up the field. So that's a nice effort play by number 4, Wendell Gregory right there.
Gregory was another really highly recruited player out of high school. Started his playing career at South Carolina. New running back is checked in, Tommy Ainsley, for UT Martin for this 3rd down and 8. This could be 4-down territory. Oklahoma State gets through, and it's incomplete. Bauer took a shot. Kenneth Harris, from his star safety position, gets to the quarterback.
This was a nice disguise by number 23, Kenneth Harris. You're going to see him in the middle of your screen. He's blitzing from the safety position. You don't even see him right now. He's so far out. Jace Bowers doesn't think he's coming. He comes and shoots in that B gap. Nice job timing up that blitz. He times it up perfect. Nice job by the right defensive end getting up the field. And then nice job by Kenneth Harris coming underneath to get that hit on Jace Bowers to get the Cowboys defense off the field.
This is 4th and 8 in plus territory at the Oklahoma State 42, and UT Martin brings out their punter, Jaron Van Winkle. What do you think of this move?
I believe if it was more like 4th and 5, 4th and 3, they most likely go for it, but 4th and 8, the odds don't show in your favor. So they're going to play the field position game here, try to pin them back and make Oklahoma State go the length of the field.
Nicely done, a sky kick, and it's reeled in with a fair catch at the 6-yard line. A little 35-yard pooch punt as we go to break. The first time Oklahoma State had the football, their new quarterback, Haas Haney, he was surgical on that opening drive.
Yeah, James, he was in the rhythm. Nice job by offensive coordinator Doug Meacham, getting him in rhythm early in this game. He must have been listening to the do's and don'ts. I said get him some easy throws. You see the athletic ability right there, be able to get to the outside and get to the end zone. So has to be a picture-perfect drive for a young quarterback making his first start.
The offense was humming. The defense was bend but don't break. Last year, 7 of the last 8 Oklahoma State opponents scored points on their opening possession. Haney's numbers, 3 for 4, 45 yards, had the 6-yard quarterback scamper to the house. Backed up from the shadows of his own end zone. Oklahoma State takes over after a 35-yard sky punt from its own 6. Haney stretching, and he has the first down. He is a lightning bolt. That's 14 on the ground.
And we talked about having contained. Look at to the right of your screen, number 0. He has contained. He's the quarterback player. Right there, that's Keyshawn Johnson. He's supposed to take the quarterback. He doesn't take them. Haas Haney, nice read, pulls the ball, gets to the outside, and gets a first down run.
His 3rd carry leads the team with 22 yards here in the opening stages of this one. An official's timeout. We will take it with them, with Oklahoma State leading by a touchdown midway through the first quarter. Well, Mike Gundy has to be happy with this start from his offense. They took their opening possession and marched down the field for a touchdown. Haas Haney, man, he's a winner. He won his last 30 games in high school, a 2-time 5A state champ in the state of Texas. Spent 1 year at TCU, I mean, just 2 years ago, he was getting ready for his senior year of high school.
Yeah, a highly recruited guy, goes to TCU, where both of his parents went and played sports there as well. And you talked about it, James. Doing that in Texas, high school Texas football, that's extremely hard to do. So proves that he's a winner and a competitor.
Coach Gundy told us that he's kind of a quiet kid. Like, he had to earn the respect from his teammates with his play. He gets the nod here in the opener. It's 1st and 10 after a 14-yard run prior to the injury timeout. Newsome got banged up for UT Martin, and he bombs this one deep, backpedaling to make the catch inside the 40. Shamar Rigby on the receiving end.
Yeah, this is a nice job by offensive coordinator Doug Meacham. He sends Shamar Rigby in motion, and he's going to go out and up. The DB bites on it. Nice throw right there by Haas Haney. Just putting it out there so his receiver can catch a catchable ball.
1st and 10 Pokes. Oklahoma State has found a dude at quarterback. Play fake. Dancing left. Tight spiral. Incomplete. There's the flag. The defender draped all over Rigby. It's Chris Rhodes, who's the fastest player on this UT Martin team. He will be penalized for interference.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 4. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
2 plays ago, how about this bomb from Haney to Rigby?
Yeah, right there. That's number 8. You see him in coverage. Jermichael McGoy Jr., who was their preseason All-American. He got his eyes in the backfield looking at the quarterback. You have to get your eyes on your work, and this is the penalty right here. This was an underthrown ball, but nice heads-up play by Shamar Rigby, number 7. He works back to the quarterback, which gets him the pass interference.
1st and 10 in that red area. Hicks trying to pinball to the boundary, stuffed out of bounds at the 18-yard line. A pickup of 4. Jacob Stevenson, the tackler for the UT Martin defense.
So the UT Martin defense, they slant the defensive line. That means Jacob Stevenson has contained. And it looked like that play was going to go for a lot more, but he does a nice job again in the alley, holding that to a minimal gain.
A shot of new defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge at UT Martin. That pass is off target. It's incomplete. Wanted Cam Abshire, another Division II transfer. Oklahoma State really overhauled their wide receiving core, and they did it in kind of an untraditional way. They brought in a lot of Division II transfers, guys that were stars at that level.
And it's weird for Coach Gundy, right? Because he isn't accustomed to having so many new players. He's been in a developmental game where guys develop all the way through from freshman, sophomore, junior year. So this has been a change for him, but it's already paying dividends with some of these receivers tonight.
Zone read. Haney keeps it. Fighting for extra yardage. Close to the first down marker. A gain of 5. It's 4th and 1.
I mean, what a physical run by your quarterback, Haas Haney. You're going to see number 7 to the right of your screen. To Matt White Bandit. He throws a shoulder into him. He just bounces off, contact balance, and picks up a couple extra yards. Love the aggressiveness right here by Coach Gundy going for it on 4th down.
They need the 13-yard line. Hicks up the gut, wiggles forward, moves the chains.
First down yardage, easy for a Cowboy. First down and 10. Gain of 2.
Hicks is built like a tank, 5'11", 215. He's got those strong legs. He'll be the between the tackles guy for Oklahoma State this year, who tries to replace one of the all-time greats, Ollie Gordon. First down. Freddie Brock has entered the lineup for Oklahoma State. His first carry is a pickup of 2.
Freddie Brock, the 4th.
Right there, Skyhawks defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge. He sends a slot corner blitz, number 29, Caleb Alamo, to kind of help with this run game. He does a nice job knifing under that block and getting that tackle for a small gain.
Brock is the quicker scat back among this running back group. Play fake. They dump it underneath to Freeman. Freeman has the edge and an Oklahoma State touchdown.
Yep. And Jay, plays only happen like that when you throw it to the flat if guys are blocking down the field. I want you to look at the top right of your screen, number 14, Cam Abshire. This is a bootleg action. So you're going to bring 17 across. Gavin Freeman throws it to the flat. Look at number 14 block right there. That's a nice job by Cam Abshire, escorting his receiver mate into the end zone. Plays like that don't happen unless your receiver mates are blocking down the field. Very unselfish play by him.
Point after is true. Haney has connected with 4 different receivers on 5 completions. He's accounted for both Oklahoma State scores, and it's a 2-touchdown lead for the Pokes here at home. Oklahoma State has a new offensive coordinator, Doug Meacham, who was on staff with Coach Gundy from 05 to 2012. He was also blocking for Coach Gundy back in the 80s. He was an offensive lineman here in Stillwater for Oklahoma State. And then a graduate assistant from 89 to 91. Played with some greats. He coached with some greats. He was the wide receivers coach, also coached the tight ends from 05 to 2012. Oklahoma State had some fantastic teams, 11-win seasons, Fiesta Bowl wins during that stretch. And they bring him back as the OC, hired back in December. Both of these coaches were hired within a very short window. Gundy knew who he wanted, and they've got 13 new assistants under Gundy this season. West Paul boots it out of bounds. That will draw a penalty flag. But what do you like about...
Free kick, out of bounds. Kicking team, number 90. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, UT Martin.
You know, Doug Meacham told us the 2 questions that he gets from fans is, well, how does the team look in camp? And then the second is, are you going to throw the ball to the tight end?
We kind of chuckled about that in the meeting, but the interesting thing about Doug Meacham, he sat down and I asked him, you know, why Oklahoma State? He said it wasn't much of a choice. He was coming back home, right? He missed calling the game, being around the players and having influence on the offense. And I love what he's done the first 2 drives with Haas Haney. Literally getting the quarterback comfortable in the offense, simple bootlegs, getting him out on the outside, using that mobility, and then also dialing up some quarterback run as well.
They bring the pressure. Bauer gets it away. Tight end Drake Martinez on the receiving end. That's a first down for the Skyhawks, and they are really high on Martinez.
And that was a nice job by offensive coordinator Jason Simpson, who is the head coach. He felt like all-out pressure was coming. Little bootleg, everybody's coming. You're open up in the flat. That's actually a really good tackle by Brian McCoy Jr., who got hit with a horse collar earlier, because if he misses that tackle, it's nothing but space for Drake Martinez out there in the open field.
They give him 9. It's second down and a yard. Gentry puts his foot in the ground, moves the chains, and for the second time in this first quarter, UT Martin is in plus territory. Jason Simpson, year 20 for him at UT Martin, 124 wins. And UT Martin, in the 14 years prior to his arrival, they had just 20 conference victories. He has done a fantastic job.
I mean, 4 consecutive years of winning the conference. He's literally turned this UT Martin program around.
First down, play action, Bauer outside the pocket, room to run. Angles out of bounds for a chunk of 8. Last year, UT Martin goes 9-5, their 4th straight conference title, scored over 30 points a game, had one of the top running backs in all of FCS. He has since departed. Patrick Smith. Gentry was the backup a season ago. 2-time conference coach of the year.
Double pass.
Some trickeration. They chuck it deep. One-handed grab by Gentry and a UT Martin touchdown. 39 yards. Bryce Bailey, the receiver, let it fly.
And the coaching staff was excited about this guy. He's been on the roster for 2 years, came over from Middle Tennessee State, was a reserve guy, but they're looking for him to step up and be a bigger role guy. And we talked about it in the do's and don'ts, right? Be aggressive on offense. You're the underdog, right? Pull out all the stops on the playbook. Love the aggressive play call by Jason Simpson right there. Double pass. Bryce Bailey finds John Gentry with an immaculate one-hand catch to get the Skyhawks on the board.
Cade Hector on for the point after. Slips it through, and that knifes the deficit in half. 4 plays, 65 yards. They pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, this is a nice job. Nice, accurate pass by Jace Bowers. And look at Bryce Bailey. He looks like a quarterback out there. Looks like Teddy Bridgewater throwing it out there. And that's great concentration right there by #1 John Gentry. Let's not forget, he's not a receiver, Jay. He's a running back. So that's a running back coming down with a receiver-esque type catch, being able to hold on to the ball. The defense bites, thinking it's going to be a screenplay, but it's a double pass. Again, nice job by head coach Jason Simpson pulling out that double pass.
Injecting life into that UT Martin sideline. First ever meeting between these two schools. UT Martin is no stranger to playing FBS opponents. They beat Kennesaw State last year. They opened their season in 2024 against another Big 12 foe up in Manhattan against Kansas State. They also beat Memphis in 2012. Sam Jackson back deep. Sesi Vailahi back to return for Oklahoma State as well. Returnable for Jackson. Hopping towards the boundary. Prances out of bounds, shy of the 20. Well, Haas Haney's been the story. 5 of 7, 96 yards, a touchdown, no picks, 4 carries, 27 yards. He's accounted for both Oklahoma State scores in his debut as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Doug Meacham has got him in a rhythm early. We talked about some easy throws on some bootlegs, things that he's comfortable doing, getting outside the pocket on a rollout, off platform throws. Finds Terrell Davis, also has been able on a bootleg to find one of his receivers, Gavin Freeman, for a touchdown. So he's in full command of the offense right now.
A couple of long scoring drives, taking a shot. The Oklahoma State receiver falls down and it's nearly intercepted. Jamichael McGoy was on the coverage, and he's an FCS All-American. Had 18 pass breakups last season.
And the interesting thing is he was going to Terrell Davis, #2. He's a speedster, but so is McGoy. He can really run, and that was a miscommunication because even if Terrell Davis doesn't fall, he was breaking out, where Haas Haney was thinking he was running the post. So that was a good thing that it was just too far in front for McGoy to actually come down with the football.
Back-to-back incompletions, wanted Freeman on the wide receiver screen. Farmer McCray was all over it, the middle of that UT Martin defense. Now it's 3rd and long, and this is the first 3rd and long situation for Oklahoma State here tonight.
Yeah, let's see if the Skyhawks can get off the field. Like, they've aided the Cowboys offense with some pass interferences on 3rd down. Their offense just scored a touchdown, right? Let's see if this Skyhawk defense can go out here and make a stop. On the 3rd down, defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge is going to go on man coverage. It's like he's dropping his own this time.
3rd and 10. Haney floats it down the boundary too far out in front of Terrell Davis. Oklahoma State's offense, after the trick play touchdown, they go 3 and out, and now they're punting back to the Skyhawks, who have all the momentum after that trick play score.
James, we talked about Terrell Davis, #2 for Oklahoma State, being their speedster. Again, they tried to take a shot down the field against the Skyhawks' best cover corner in Jamichael McGoy. He also had #6, Jacob Stevenson, over the top right there. Haas Haney isn't able to fit it in between that void, and the Skyhawk defense gets off the field on 3rd down.
Wes Paul on to blast it away, set the Oklahoma State single-season punting average a season ago. This is a boomer, and Oklahoma State throws a blanket on the return man. They bring him down at the 30. A 53-yard punt.
A nice special teams play right there. Deuce Oliver on the return. Raymond Gay II does a nice job tackling them in the open field.
What's the approach if you're UT Martin on this series?
Keep being aggressive. What I really liked on that last drive is they got Jace Bauer's legs involved, right? They had a quarterback draw. There was a play where things broke down. He was able to get outside the pocket, continue to use the quarterback's mobility.
Bauer fakes the pitch. Bootleg. Hot pursuit, gets rid of it.
That's a horse collar.
Another horse collar and another flag. That was defensive end Jaleel Johnson.
And Oklahoma State did a really good job on responsibility defense right there. There was somebody in the flat for the boot guy. Number 6, Brandon Rawls, was in the flat. Jaleel Johnson gets outside.
Horse collar tackle. Defense. Number 95. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
He gets outside, but James, his hands are just too high. Again, it's tough for a defensive player. You're chasing the guy, and I'm just glad Jace Bowers is all right because it looked ugly when it first happened. But that was a nice job by the Cowboys defense. But again, if you're a defensive player, you cannot reach and undrop your hips because they're going to call horse collar every time.
15-yard mark off puts the football at the UT Martin 45. Play action. Bauer with time to set up. Delivers. It's incomplete. A low throw. Wanted Scotty Alexander. Cam Smith on the coverage, a returning starter for Oklahoma State's defense.
Yeah, nice job in man coverage right there. He does a nice job attacking the football. And if you're Jace Bowers, you want that ball a little bit to the outside, not the inside. Going to number 15, Scotty Alexander. But Cam Smith has inside leverage right there. So he put the ball in harm's way, and Cam Smith almost made him pay. A guy that has 27 consecutive starts.
2nd down and 10 for the Skyhawks. Bauer, quarterback draw, stumbles a bit, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Stacked up after a gain of 2. Third down and 8 to gain.
And
closing in on a minute to play here in the first.
I would not be surprised if they maybe quarterback draw run this. If they are able to get it to 4th and manageable, we've seen Jason Simpson be aggressive. Could he potentially go for it on 4th down?
Four-man rush. Bauer planted. Hits an Oklahoma State sack. Wendell Gregory pulverizes the quarterback on 3rd down, setting up 4th and long.
Oh, James, I love this. Look at the left side of your screen. Number 4, Wendell Gregory. The staff has been talking about him at nauseum. The up and under. Long arm, stabs, gets inside. Big sack on 3rd down to help the Cowboys get off on defense. This was a guy that defensive coordinator Todd Grantham really highlighted. He said, even though he hasn't played much, he transferred from South Carolina, he's a guy we feel can bring some of that heat off the edge.
Van Winkle hangs it up there. Gavin Freeman, the return man, drifting towards the boundary. Oklahoma State will start the 2nd quarter at their own 30-yard line. 14-7 Pokes. The 2025 season is a quarter in the books. Oklahoma State's season opener start of the 2nd quarter. They lead at 14-7. And Coach Mike Gundy told us that he would play both quarterbacks in the mix in this opener. So here's a look at Zane Flores after an Oklahoma State 3-and-out on their last drive. He's a redshirt freshman, but this is his 3rd year in the system, in the program.
He's a guy that's earned a lot of respect after being in the program for 3 years. And yes, he's not as good of an athlete as Haas Haney, but he can run the football.
Hicks reverses field, and he's chopped down. A loss of a yard. Chris Rhodes comes screaming up to make the tackle, and it's 2nd down and long.
And that's a nice job by Chris Rhodes because he's the edge of the defense right there. We talked about it earlier, how the Skyhawk defense has lost contain. Right there, he does a nice job as Caleb Hicks reverses the field. He saw that outside leg down to get him down for a loss.
The scout on Flores is that he's the best pure passer on this Oklahoma State roster. But to your point, the coach has said he can run better than you'd think. Hicks is buried on the zone read. Another loss of a yard, and it's 3rd down and 12 for the Pokes. Chris Wilson making the tackle. It's a completely new UT Martin defensive line. They lost 5 guys to FBS schools. That D-line was gutted by the portal. 3rd down and 11. Back-to-back 3rd and longs in the last 2 drives for Oklahoma State. They're trying to avoid back-to-back 3 and outs. Flores with plenty of time. Hums it to the boundary. It's caught, but shy of the marker. Sam Jackson nabs the catch. Makes it 4th down and about 4 to gain.
It looks like Coach Gundy will play the field position battle. And that's a nice job again. 1st down play. Chris Rhodes makes a tackle for loss. Gets the Cowboys offense behind the 8 ball. 3rd and long. That's a timing-based route. Speed out, which we saw Hoss Haney have a completion on the first drive, but just short of the sticks. That's a nice job by the Skyhawks defense.
Well, Flores completes his first collegiate pass. Long drifting punt backing up UT Martin for a fair catch inside their own 10-yard line. Deuce Oliver, the return man. 14-7, Oklahoma State leads it by a touchdown. A 52-yard punt from Wes Paul. Jace Bauer has been rock solid for UT Martin. They've really leaned on their ground game. They had the trick play touchdown, a 39-yard strike from a receiver to a running back. Their number 1 strength is their offensive line. They've got 9 guys coming back from last year's team.
Yeah, led by center Josiah Tingley, who's a preseason OVC Big South first team member. He's the leader up front at center.
Bauer wants to throw. From his own end zone, it's nearly intercepted. Kafusi, the backup defensive tackle.
Yeah, and if you're Jace Bauer, you got to be careful, right? You're backed up against the end zone. You're backpedaling, heavy play action pass. Supposed to be a throwback to number 22, Drake Martinez. That's a nice job by Kafusi getting up. We're always taught as defensive linemen, if we can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, get in that passing window.
Transfer from UCLA, had 10 tackles in the Big Ten last year. On 2nd down and 10, they go back to the ground. And not much running room between the tackles for UT Martin. Coach Gundy for Oklahoma State said this is the best defensive line he's had in his 24 years as a player/coach here at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and Todd Grantham said they're going to rotate probably 10 to 11 guys on the defensive front. We just saw Kafusi. He's a guy that on the depth chart is listed as the 3rd guy. He's already getting some play time, so they feel like they have some great depth at defensive line this year.
3rd and 9. 4-man rush. Bauer taking off. Bauer has the 1st down, and he slides to the 25-yard line. He is crafty. Johnson tracks him down for the tackle.
And James, you asked what I liked about what the Skyhawks have been doing on offense. It's the mobility of Jace Bowers right here. He snaps the ball. He looks to his left, looks to his right, doesn't like what he sees. Watch number 1 up the middle, John Gentry. Watch him get a block right there to spring his quarterback free for that 1st down.
Gentry picks up a yard over left guard. UT Martin averaged 440 yards a game last season. That led their conference. Over 160 yards on the ground. And Chris Franklin has checked in at tailback. A 2nd-generation Skyhawk. His brother Sam was an All-American running back. Some window dressing. They hit the tight end. And he's flagged down immediately. A gain of just a couple for UT Martin.
The defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, is hip to this bootleg because there's been multiple times where they've tried this run action with the bootleg to the left or right, and there's been somebody in Jace Bauer's face as soon as he comes around the corner, and there's usually somebody there in the flat. Right there, he's able to connect with his tight end, Hyatt Timosik, for a nice small completion on 2nd down. Third and 6. Pressure.
Gets rid of it. Incomplete around the 40. And UT Martin is now 2 for 5 on third downs. He wanted Bryce Bailey on the out.
And he had him. That was a timing-based route right there. They actually don't bring an extra guy. They go simulated pressure. They drop the left defensive end and bring the linebacker, Brian McCoy Jr. up the middle. He hits Jace Bauer right in between the numbers. Bowers is able to get it off, just can't get enough on that pass to complete it to Bryce Bailey for a first down.
Freeman back deep for the Pokes. Returnable from inside the 30-yard line. Trying to turn the corner. He's out beyond the 40. Shoved out of bounds at the 42. Oklahoma State's offense, after back-to-back 3-and-outs, try to get something going when we come back to Stillwater. 10+ left in this second quarter. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 14-7. Will the real Oklahoma State offense please stand up? Because in the first two drives, 17 plays, 164 yards, couple of touchdowns, but back-to-back 3-and-outs, 6 plays, 7 yards, 2 punts. What's been the difference?
And Jay, we talked about the Skyhawks defense, right? Defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge. He was going a lot of man coverage on those third downs on the first two drives, and Haas Haney was able to get his rhythm and get in rhythm with receivers. But since they played a little bit more zone, the quarterbacks have struggled to find their receivers.
Flores, his second possession with the first-team offense. Run out of bounds, no gain. Second down and long. Shamari Weir forces him out. The Oklahoma State offense is really stalled. Now 7 plays, 7 yards, their last 2+ drives. Freddie Brock, the transfer from Georgia State, is the tailback. He is shifty. He makes one man miss. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and nothing else. Tomac Bright Banda, the middle linebacker, with the tackle.
And honestly, James, that should have been a pull read for Zane Flores. Right there, the defensive end crashes down. He gives it to Brock, and he actually makes the first guy miss. Too many men on the field for UT Martin.
Free play for the Pokes, and Flores dances out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
And that's a heads-up play by Zane Flores, right? They don't substitute. That means UT Martin can't substitute. Once they decide, they see that guys are trying to run off the field, he runs a quick play, it's a free 5 yards.
He's a savvy quarterback. Again, his third year in the system, but he's still a redshirt freshman.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players in formation at the snap. A 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Third and long. What has UT Martin defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge, what has he dialed up differently these last 2+ drives?
I think when you look at it, one of the big explosive plays, Jamichael McGoy, remember his eyes were in the backfield. He was looking at the quarterback and he allowed the receiver to get behind him. I think they're just playing sound defense now. And again, on those third downs, they were going man coverage, which makes it easy for a young quarterback. They're playing a little bit more zone now.
Brock hit, knocked out of bounds around the 50, short of the first down. It's 4th and 2 for Oklahoma State. Pierce knocks him out.
Looks like the offense is staying on the nope, now the punt team is. And if you're the UT Martin Skyhawks, right, I would keep the defense on the field and go punt safe. Looks like they are going to do that. They're bringing the punt return and lead the defense on. But that's a nice physical tackle by number 2, Lamarian Pierce. He is an aggressive corner. He likes to show up and run support. You see it right there. Little pass to the flat. He comes downhill and makes a tackle to stop the Cowboys from getting a first down.
Well, since the midway point of the first quarter, it's been a field position battle. Oklahoma State hasn't picked up a first down on their last 3 series. High, short punt from Paul. Helicopters out of bounds at the 15. The last 5 possessions in this football game for both teams have ended with a punt. We'll see UT Martin when we come back. Back here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the season opener for these two teams with Lige Douzable. I'm James Westling. UT Martin hanging around in this defensive battle. Their first 4 drives, a punt, and then a trick play touchdown. Back-to-back punts. But offensively, Jace Bauer at quarterback, he's an experienced guy. You just sense that UT Martin is close to breaking one open.
Yeah, they've had a few plays. We talked about on that last third down. Oklahoma State sent some simulated pressure. It was a timing-based route between Jace Bowers and Bryce Bailey. He just barely missed them. So to your point, James, he's done some good things at quarterback with his legs. Now they have to get that passing game going to marry the run game with Jace Bowers.
Fifth possession of the night for the Skyhawks, and the running back is clobbered. Demarion Thomas, the defensive tackle, a nice addition to that group up front for the Pokes. 337 pounds, a transfer from Vanderbilt, where he started all 13 games a season ago.
And you'll see different teams. They put the D tackle in the zone where you see the guard go down. So the Demarion Thomas, he has to choose between the quarterback and running back. He gets downhill and is able to get a tackle for a small gain.
Second down completion to Faison Wilson. They are really high on this receiver, transfer from Akron. He didn't play last year for the Zips, but he was listed as a conference preseason player to watch. Great size, catches everything.
I like that play call because you want to cut second down and have to make a manageable third down. Little spot route, big receiver. He sets up like a power forward and is able to get 4 yards there, give you a manageable third down.
Has not had a drop all camp. 3rd and 5 for UT Martin. 4-man rush, Bauer pocket caving in, and Bauer's going down. Wendell Gregory, a flag is out on the play. It's a 2-yard sack.
We go motion, offense. The penalty's been declined. It's 4th down.
Oklahoma State will take the sack, and UT Martin will have to punt.
The defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, said he wanted to unleash this D-line right here in the middle. Number 95, Jaleel Johnson. Yes, Wendell Gregory gets the sack, but watch how he gets up the field and just creates havoc right here to the left middle of your screen. Inside counter move, gets up the field, makes Jace Bowers move, and then he steps right into Wendell Gregory. That's what we talk about as a D-line, working together, understanding pass rush lanes. He does a nice job with a up and under move. A nice job, Wendell Gregory getting to the top of the quarterback and then folding back in to get a sack.
Low spinner, returnable for Freeman. Trying to get the wall, and Freeman is spun down. A flag is out back around the 40. .44-yard punt, 5 on the return.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 27. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, Oklahoma State.
Well, the first couple of drives in this football game, they were clean, they were action-packed, fast-paced. This game is really slowed to a halt. A lot of penalties, a lot of punts. 14-7, Oklahoma State by a score. Oklahoma State by a touchdown here at home. Well, you can get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan, or simply log in with your TV provider. Your one-stop shop for all your college football this season. Zane Flores back in his 3rd possession with the first-team offense. They split reps in camp. It was a 2-man battle between Zane Flores and Haas Haney. He completes his 2nd Oklahoma State career pass. Sets up 2nd down and 3 for the Pokes. Up the gut by Lahi. Close to the 1st down marker. Redshirt sophomore. It's good for an Oklahoma State 1st down.
I love that first play from Doug Meacham, right? Just get your young quarterback settled down, get him an easy throw on the screenplay, get some positive yards. Again, building up his confidence.
And if you're Oklahoma State, there's going to be ups and downs. Over half the roster, newcomers this year, 27 transfers on the two deep. Valahi with a little bit of running room between the tackles. That's good for 5, almost 6. Pooney makes the tackle for UT Martin.
Yeah, Valahi's their change of pace back. He was their third down back last year. He's a guy that can maneuver in small spaces. You saw it right there on that simple zone play. He's able to pick up about 4 or 5 yards.
He has a punch to his game. An excellent pass catcher, to your point. Hitches across the board, and they get it to Freeman. A first down for Oklahoma State, and quietly the Cowboys have ventured into plus territory.
And Zane Flores just looks a lot more comfortable reading zone coverage, finding receivers in the void of zone. He's throwing in rhythm right now.
Play action. Out of the pocket. Against the grain, too tall, and he throws his first incompletion of the contest. He connected on his first 4. That was intended for a backup tight end, Quentin Stewart, who's from Salina, Kansas. Went to Salina Central High School.
Yeah, that's a tough throw, right? You're rolling to your left. You're a right-handed quarterback. You got to square up to get enough on the ball. Ball just sails on him a little bit.
Second down and 10 for Oklahoma State. Flores was the 2022 Max Preps Nebraska State Player of the Year. From a small high school in the Husker State. Valahi up the middle. Good for 10. His second first down run of the evening.
I want you to watch number 40 to the left of your screen, Josh Ford. This is a simple zone play, left to right. He does a good job cutting off that defensive end, creates that canvas right there for Valahi. And you talked about it, James. With his explosive ability, he gets downhill and gets a first down run.
Quick throw to Cam Abshire. Second down and 10 for Oklahoma State. No gain on the completion. Flores has started 5 for 6, but everything underneath has 27 yards. Play fake. Bobbled, caught, a gain of 8. Abshire again, back-to-back receptions for the D2 transfer.
Yeah, a lot of quick stick routes for this Cowboys offense. Just, again, getting Zane Flores in rhythm.
Flores to the boundary. This is simple pitch and catch. And they are on the move in the red zone for the third time as they cut down to the 19-yard line. Rigby on the receiving end, his third grab.
And James, this is the test match between offensive coordinator Doug Meacham and defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge. We talked about it earlier. They're going a lot of man coverage. They were getting beat deep. Now they're playing zone and off man coverage. Now they're getting beat by these quick stick routes, 5-6 yard routes.
Laundry on the field for this first down play. Oklahoma State is 2 for 2 so far in the red zone here tonight.
Full start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Let's talk Oklahoma State offensive line. 2 starters on this O-line got to campus in June. They are very new. They have 3 transfers starting up front. And the 2 guys that aren't transfers that were in the program last year didn't play much. They were backups.
Yeah, so essentially 5 new starters. But when you talk about it, James, from the center over to the left, all 3 guys were transfer guys coming in new. So it always takes a little while for that offensive line to mesh and gel. You talked about it, the other 2 guys were guys that didn't play much. So it's kind of the theme of this whole roster, right? A lot of new players.
Sam Jackson.
So he's going to pass it.
Receiver / quarterback. He played quarterback at Cal 2 years ago. Then he played receiver last year at Auburn. He was a 4-star recruit out of high school. So he's versatile. Loses a yard.
Yeah,
nobody open downfield.
We saw offensive coordinator or head coach Jason Simpson pull out the double pass right there. It looks like Doug Meacham was going to go with the reverse pass to Sam Jackson. To your point, is a guy that played college quarterback at Cal, and I believe even a little bit at TCU as well.
This is the 11th play of this drive for Oklahoma State, and that pass is offline. Daywayne Lofton, the intended target. And it's 3rd and 16 for the Oklahoma State offense.
That was a nice job by number 25, Cameron Powell. He comes up and attacks the blocker, throws that whole screenplay off rhythm, and you get an incomplete pass.
3rd and 16. This is field goal range for Logan Ward. This would be about a 42-yard field goal. Straight drop. Flores checks it down underneath, and Vailahi drops it in the flat.
And I love that play by Zane Flores, right? Because you're already in field goal range. You want to come away with points on this drive. So he just checks it down to usually the sure-handed Vailahi, but look, you saw it right there. He took his eyes off the football before he corralled it. Now he makes his field goal attempt just a little bit harder for Logan Ward.
Ward went 4 for 8 last year from 40 to 49. This is a 42-yard try. Laces are spun. Looks good from here. And he got it. Oklahoma State adds to their lead, 17-7, our new score in favor of the Pokes with 2:43 left before the half.
Yeah, and they found something on offense right there. A lot of stop routes, quick routes. Get the ball out of Zane Flores' hands. Let the receivers make plays for you. We talked about the chess match between offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, Doug Meacham, and also defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge from the Skyhawks. Earlier in the game, a lot of man coverage. They were able to throw the ball down the field. Now, Coach Jerry Partridge, he countered that by going some zone and off man coverage, which really made the Cowboys offense struggle. So now it'll be interesting to see defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge and how he decides to call the rest of this game, because you keep giving up the underneath stuff, teams can march up and down the field. Now, they broke their back up right there in the high red zone and was able to hold the Cowboys to a field goal. But we also saw the Cowboys getting in the rhythm on offense.
13 plays, 43 yards. Took over 4 minutes off the stadium clock. Oklahoma State has outgained UT Martin 197 to 102. And remember, 39 UT Martin play. It was a touchdown, their lone score. Into the end zone for a touchback. 4 straight conference championships for the Skyhawks and the Ohio Valley Big South. Won 9 games a season ago, lost in the second round of the FCS playoffs. Just 7 returning starters, but they've added 15 transfers from FBS schools, including this guy, Jace Bauer, their quarterback. Preseason league poll just behind Tennessee Tech, UT Martin receiving votes in the preseason top 25.
And James, this is a big drive for the Skyhawks offense, just because there's 2:43 on the clock. You have 1 timeout. You also have the 2-minute timeout as well. But you don't want to give this ball back to Oklahoma State. Remember, the Skyhawks get the ball coming out at half.
And that was the biggest hole of the night for John Gentry. A first down run to move the chains. He was brought down in the secondary by Parker Robertson. A gain of a dozen.
Yeah, and I think Coach Jason Simpson knows this. He's taking his time because he wants to be the last team to possess this ball before half.
Stretch play. Cuts it back, and Gentry belted at the 40. Picked up 4. And that should take us to the 2-minute timeout. Oklahoma State tacks on a field goal. They lead 17-7. We've seen both quarterbacks, Haas Haney and Zane Flores, but UT Martin with a chance to make it real interesting before the half. Two minutes to go before the half. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 17-7. And there's kind of a nervous energy throughout this stadium, because if UT Martin scores here before the half, this is a very different game. Bauer to Gentry. His knee hit the turf. He lost 2, and it's 3rd down for UT Martin. They picked up 2 of their 6 third downs tonight. This is 3rd and 8.
A little surprised right here that Coach Gundy didn't call timeout. Now, he may call it after this stop right here, but it's a lot of clock running off the field, especially if you're able to get this stop here. You're going to get pretty good field position. So, really interesting that Coach Gundy didn't call timeout right there.
3rd and 8 for UT Martin, trying to keep this drive alive. Gentry knifing to the 43-yard line, not close to the first down. Malik Charles, the stopper, makes it 4th and 5. And there's the Oklahoma State timeout. They still have 2 in their pocket.
Charge timeout. Oklahoma State, 1st and a half. Do a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock for 1 minute and 12 seconds. 1, 1, 2.
So we'll add 2 seconds to the stadium timer. 4th and 5 for UT Martin. Yeah, if you're Oklahoma State, why not try and get the ball back and at least take 1 shot?
And I believe that's why he called timeout, right? 1 minute and 12, 2 timeouts. That's plenty of time to move up and down the field and try to come away with points right before half. As we talked about before, remember the Skyhawks get the ball coming out at half. So this would be big if Oklahoma State can walk away from this drive with some points.
Jaron Van Winkle on the punt for UT Martin. Freeman's been the return man for Oklahoma State. Freeman drifting back, signals for a fair catch and brings it in at the 12. Leger, your thoughts on the 2 Oklahoma State quarterbacks we've seen in this first half? Haas Haney got the start, and then it's been Zane Flores the last 4 possessions.
Yeah, the offense was more efficient with Haas Haney in the game. Obviously, the run game opens up as well because he's so electric on the edge with his legs. Also, the deep passing game opened up because of the mobility of Haas Haney. When Zane Flores has been in the game, it's been a lot of quick game, right? Run game hasn't been as prevalent, but he's gotten in the rhythm the last 2 drives. I believe offensive coordinator Doug Meacham has done a really good job throwing some timing-based routes, some quick hitters, just to get the young quarterback settled down.
On first down, they run it with Caleb Hicks. Hicks to the 20-yard line. Picks up a chunk of 7. Under a minute to go, clock churning here in this second quarter. A look at Doug Meacham, the new offensive coordinator. Comes over from TCU. Was blocking for Coach Gundy back in the day. Spent 8 years on staff from 05 to 2012. A gain of a yard. It's 3rd down and short for the Cowboys.
Looks like we maybe have a player down.
That's the middle linebacker, Tomac Bright Banda, transfer from Lamar that the UT Martin coaches are really high on.
Yeah, Coach Parcher said even though he's the middle linebacker, they'll put him on the edge, and we've seen some of that already on 3rd downs because he can really get after the passer as a rusher. Did a lot of that at Lamar University where he transferred over from. So he's one of those guys that they brought in to bring some tenacity and also a lot of experience on that defense.
We have a defensive injury. Oklahoma State has declined the 10-second runoff.
3rd down and a yard for Oklahoma State. They declined the runoff, so 35 seconds on the clock. If you're Oklahoma State, what adjustments are you trying to make at halftime?
Yeah, first and foremost, if Zane Flores is going to continue to play in this game and be the quarterback, on some of those zone reads, he has to pull the ball just to keep this Skyhawk defense honest. We've seen multiple times, James, where the edge guys just crash down on the running back because they're not respecting Zane Flores keeping the ball. So I would do some of that. Also, continue to do what you're doing as far as the quick game. He's starting to get in the rhythm, and if his confidence continues to grow, maybe then you start throwing the ball down the field. They've already tried a trick play as well, but I think Zane Flores has to be part of their run game to open up the Skyhawks defense.
3rd and short. Oklahoma State from its 22-yard line. They run it. Hicks sneaks between the tackles. He has the first down. A gain of 4.
It's a nice tough run by Hicks because Jacob Stevenson, number 6, met him in the alley, but he was able to make him miss and fall forward for a first down.
Hicks again, trying to stretch it to the sideline, and Hicks is going down. Chopped down after a loss of 1 by Josh Hastings.
Looks like Coach Gundy's content. Gonna take it in the half.
4 straight carries for Caleb Hicks to wrap up the first half. Oklahoma State leads it 17-7. The Cowboys turned out 208 yards of total offense. Haas Haney has accounted for both Oklahoma State touchdowns, but we haven't seen him since the 3rd drive of the game. Mike Gundy trying to stay perfect in home openers. Cowboys by 10 here at intermission. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. This is a different league, and in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 17-7 as we get set for the second half. The redshirt freshman quarterback Haas Haney, 5 for 10, 96 yards, had completions of 41 and 34 yards, and led Oklahoma State to back-to-back scoring drives. He is out for the remainder of this game with a lower body injury, so it'll be Zane Flores the rest of the way for Oklahoma State at quarterback.
James, that's a crushing blow because the young quarterback was finding his rhythm, right? 3 drives, I believe 2 touchdown scores on those drives. Not only using his mobility, but also being able to throw the ball down the field. You talked about the completions down the field, and that's kind of stalled out for this Oklahoma State offense. They have not been able to throw the ball down the field, and even the run game hasn't been as consistent because you always have to respect Haas Haney keeping the ball and getting out on the edge.
UT Martin won the toss, deferred here to the second half, so we'll see the UT Martin offense first to start the 3rd quarter. They ran 18 rushing plays, only threw the ball 9 times, and one of those was a wide receiver on a trick play. Do they open up the playbook through the air more in the second half?
And that's the thing, right? Jace Bowers has kind of been their best weapon, not only on the ground, but he's had some timing-based throws. I think they got to be able to get that passing game going to get John Gentry and Jace Bowers in the run game going as well to loosen up this defense. The one thing they can't do is be in 3rd and long because Wendell Gregory has ruined this game off the edge. 3 sacks, which ties the Big 12 record for a freshman for sacks in the game with Alden Smith all the way back in 2009.
Breaks the record that was set by a Missouri Tiger back in the day. Gregory's, to your point, redshirt freshman that was a top 200 player out of high school. I mean, he was a high 4-star, played 1 year at South Carolina, only played in a couple of games, picked up 1 tackle.
Yeah, Todd Grantham really highlighted him. He was like, this kid hasn't really played. He's transferring in from South Carolina, but he's been a game breaker at practice, and we feel like he can really create havoc off the edge, and he did that in the first half for the Cowboys defense.
After a 3-yard pickup in the hole, they convert. It's complete, close to the first down marker. Bryce Bailey on the receiving end, a gain of 6, and it sets up 3rd and a yard.
Nice timing between quarterback and receiver, just spots up in zone. Again, staying out of that 3rd and long, that's where the Skyhawks need to be in 3rd and short.
UT Martin 2 for 7 on 3rd downs. Gentry has the first down, a gain of 3. Off the right side, plunging behind Preston Yarber, who played in all 14 games a season ago.
That's a nice job by Jace Bowers on that zone read. Mesh point, really holding that backside defensive end, and it allows John Gentry to get a full head of steam, get around that corner, and pick up the first down. Back to Gentry.
Gentry churning those legs for a gain of 6 yards. Transfer from Sam Houston, a Houston native, 3-star recruit out of high school, and an injured player for Oklahoma State, David Kabongo, backup safety.
Officials timeout for an injury.
And he's expected to be a key part of this Oklahoma State secondary. Had some big games last year as a freshman, had 7 stops against Colorado. First time in Oklahoma State, true freshman, had that many tackles in a game since 2018. But UT Martin, they come out in this third quarter, and it's ground and pound.
Yeah, and I talked about that being some of their better offense. Jace Bowers getting him involved, but that was just a physical run right there on a simple zone play by John Gentry, refusing to go down. You talked about it, James, churning his legs to get extra yards. It's a good thing that Kabonga is flipped around. Seems like he's moving. Just hoping that he's able to get off the field and return to the game.
How would you evaluate the UT Martin offensive line? I know that Gregory's got those 3 sacks, but have they held their own against a team that's bigger, stronger, and faster?
They have, and we talked about it earlier in this game that they're the strength of this team, right? 9 guys are in rotation that came back from last year, led by Josiah Tingley, number 62, their center, who's preseason all first team OVC in Big South. They've done a really good job. Now, they've been in some bad situations when you talk about 3rd and long, because that's when the defense can really just pin their ears back. But you see it right here on this drive. They're able to get some movement in the run game. And if they stay ahead of the sticks, that's going to be beneficial for that offensive line.
A look at Jason Simpson, year 20 at the helm. His son has a big game on Saturday. His son is Ty Simpson, who was named the starting quarterback at Alabama. 5-star high school prospect. 2nd down and 4 for the Skyhawks, inching closer to midfield. Flags are out. False start.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's the right tackle, Preston Yarber. We'll get to know Jason Simpson and the Simpson family. He's been at UT Martin for 20 years. There's his son Ty, named the Alabama starting quarterback. And he told us that he's stayed at UT Martin because of family, because of all the support. He wanted to coach his kids and youth football and be able to go to their high school games. That's why he's never left. And he will actually be in attendance, Dad Jason, for Ty's start on Saturday at Florida State. And look at him there on the UT Martin sideline.
Little Ty Simpson right there, big Skyhawk fan when he was younger. Like you talked about it, James, big game coming up this weekend versus Florida State.
Ainsley's in at running back, and he's a tank. In fact, they call him Tommy the Tank Ainsley. A 1st down run, Brandon Rawls brings him down. That's a gain of 13. A Bakers does it, and UT Martin is on the move.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, James. Like, this offensive line is starting to grow their confidence. They're being able to move people around. See, Todd Grantham, he added people to the line of scrimmage to stop the run. That lets you know this offensive line and the tight end, number 22, Drake Martinez, is doing work in the run game.
Jaleel Johnson able to wrangle the running back for a loss of a yard. 3 different ball carriers tonight for UT Martin. Gentry, the quarterback, Bauer, and now Ainsley getting most of the workload to start this 3rd quarter. They swing it out to him in the flat, a cutback, and then he's buried after a gain of a couple. Big 3rd down coming up for both sides.
That was nice.
McCoy and Rawls combine on the stop.
Nice job by number 23, Kenneth Harris. He fights off the block on that tight end screen. We saw them have some success a few plays earlier with Bryce Bailey on a screen because the receivers were able to block. That time, number 23, Kenneth Harris, he defeats the block, forces Drake Martinez inside where RS help is, and they hold him for like a 1-yard gain. We talked about this, Jane, right? If you're Skyhawks, you want to stay out of 3rd and long. Number 4, Wendell Gregory, he's at the top of your screen. He has been a game wrecker.
Stretch play running opposite of Gregory, and Gentry gets 4, maybe 5. If you're UT Martin, this would be a really long field goal. Now they have a kicker that has quite the leg, but this has to be 4-down territory, down by 2 scores.
And I think that run lets you know that they're going to go for it right there in plus territory. Now, Cade Hetcher, this is within his range. And Coach Simpson said he would maybe even let him kick from 56 yards out. But again, you're on the road. You're the underdog. This has been one of your better drives. You have confidence in your offense. It's 3rd and 4th and medium. Why not be aggressive and go for it? Play clock's coming down, so he's going to have to call a timeout, looks like.
UT Martin will think it over. 4th and 5 when we come back to Stillwater.
Charge timeout.
UT Martin from the Oklahoma State 33. .950 to play in the 3rd quarter. This is the opening drive of the 2nd half for UT Martin. With Lige Douzable, I'm James Westling. 4th and 5. This is the biggest play of the game. If you're that man, Jason Simpson, who also calls the plays, what do you dial up here?
Some type of RPO. You want to be able to have Jace Bowers make a decision where he can throw the ball but also use his legs. So I wouldn't even be surprised. There's a lot of space to the field. Maybe they roll out to the right. Right here you have trips downfield. You're going to see maybe some type of mesh route when you're going to get a combination of rub routes to try to draw these defenders off.
4th and 5, UT Martin. They jumped on the right side of the line. It's the right tackle, Preston Yarber. That is the 5th UT Martin penalty tonight.
That's the 2nd time Yarber on this drive has had a false start, and it stalls this drive, and Coach Simpson's going to play the field position game.
Van Winkle on to punt for the Skyhawks. 2 back deep for Oklahoma State.
And if you're Jason Simpson, that kills you. Again, you're the underdog. You're able to move the ball up and down. Those pre-snap penalties, those are the ones that really give coaches headaches, because those are concentration penalties.
High towering punt at the 1. UT Martin.
What a play.
They down it inside the 3-yard line. Bryce Bailey was the gunner. And Zane Flores will take over 97 yards from pay dirt.
Van Winkle, looks like it might have gone off the ref right there, but Bryce Bailey does a nice job. Heads up play to knock that ball back in play to hold the Cowboys back.
Touchback. First down, Oklahoma State.
They'll rule it a touchback. It'll be out at the 20 when we come back. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 17-7 with 9:36 to play in this 3rd quarter. Zane Flores will be the quarterback the rest of the way for the Cowboys, who take over at the 20-yard line. The first 2 drives with Haas Haney at quarterback, 17 plays, 164 yards, a couple of touchdowns. The last 5 drives with Flores, 26 plays, 69 yards, just a field goal to show for it.
Yeah, it's been drastically different since Zane Flores has come into the game. But Haas Haney, again, the ability to run, it really makes the defense hone in on his athletic ability, and that also they use that to get outside and throw the ball down the field. But Zane Flores has been a lot of quick game, and the run game has really struggled.
Hicks trying to turn the corner, and Hicks has one of his better runs of the night. That's a gain of 8 yards for the sophomore, the transfer from nearby OU.
Right there, Doug Meacham motions the running back in on a speed sweep, just trying to get on the edge in the perimeter, test this Skyhawk defense. They lose contain. He's able to get around that edge and get 8 yards.
Hicks again, up the gut. Weaving, probing, powering for a first down. Keyshawn Johnson, the tackler, after a gain of 6.
Nice physical run right there by Caleb Hicks in between the tackles. Just continues to turn his feet and get extra yards.
He is smooth. He has excellent vision, great balance. He's a state champ in high school. Lost his footing and picks up 2. His 14th rush of the night.
as defensive coordinator Jerry Partridge and this Skyhawk defense tries to stop the run and adds more people to the line of scrimmage. Wondered there, does offensive coordinator Doug Meacham get a little aggressive maybe, start try to throw the ball down the field, because you're going to have advantageous coverage once you add more people to the line of scrimmage to slow down this run.
Second down, and we'll call it 7. Back to Hicks, and this time he is battered. Lost a yard. Johnson again, the stopper. Sets up third down and a passing situation for Oklahoma State. Now, Zane Flores has completed 7 of 10 passes, but none longer than 9 yards in this game.
Yeah, a lot of underneath stuff. And I was just talking about it, right? Seems like the Skyhawk defense is adding more guys to the line of scrimmage. I think as the game progresses, offensive coordinator Doug Meacham gets a little bit more aggressive and trusts his young quarterback to throw the ball down the field.
Flores, 3-step drop, heaves it deep. It's caught. Terrell Davis, his second long grab tonight. That one's good for 41 yards.
And that's speed on speed. That's Jermichael McGoy in coverage. He's a fast corner. But we talked about Terrell Davis. Already has that big catch down the field. Right there, just on a simple go route. Does a nice job being able to create that space at the end and corral the football.
Oklahoma State going tempo. And UT Martin comes shooting through. Robertson, the stopper. It's a loss of 2. Oklahoma State is in field goal range for kicker Logan Ward. That was the 6th tackle for loss in the backfield for the Skyhawk defense tonight.
And James, we talked about it. Zane Flores has to pull one of these zone reads just to make the Skyhawk defense respect him on the edge.
Hicks dancing left, nowhere to go. Back to the 29-yard line, and it's 3rd and forever. A loss of 4 for the Oklahoma State offense.
Yep. They're going tempo again because they see UT Martin trying to substitute. And that was another play right there. That was a zone read, but an option to throw the ball to the flat. If Zane Flores pulls that, he has Gavin Freeman open in the flat right there for a potential big gain.
On 3rd down, Hicks up the gut, rumbling, close to the 20. Takes it down to the 22-yard line. A gain of 3. It's 4th down, and Oklahoma State will have to trot out their kicker, Logan Ward.
Yeah, they were in this scenario last time they got a field goal. It was 3rd and long. They didn't want to put the ball in harm's way. Just want to run the ball, set it up for Logan Ward to have this field goal attempt.
Hit on 12 of 17 a season ago. This is a 39-yard try. Snap and placement, swings the leg through, and he puts it through. Oklahoma State expands on their lead. It's now 20-7. Cowboys on top with 5 and change to go in the 3rd. It's 58 yards, 4:24 off the clock. They put through a 39-yard field goal to take a 20-7 lead with a little over 5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. The big play on that drive was a 41-yard bomb from Zane Flores to Terrell Davis.
And I feel like the Oklahoma State Cowboys have found their speedster on the outside in Terrell Davis. We talked about it last year at Division II, over 1,600 receiving yards. So he's a guy that can really get down the field. Nice throw from Zane Flores, connect with his speedy receiver on the outside.
He's caught 2 passes tonight for 75 yards. He didn't play football until his senior year of high school. He was a basketball first guy. He was a really good point guard, led his high school in points and assists. He was getting looks, and then COVID happened. He tries football. He balls out his senior year in high school, goes to Central Oklahoma. 2 years later, he's leading the entire country in receptions and yards, got the attention of Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State staff, and he leads Oklahoma State in receiving tonight with those 75 yards.
It seems like he's going to be a guy they're going to be able to depend on, especially down the field this year.
UT Martin back on offense. Gentry takes a shot, bounces away. Still loses a couple. They have punted the Skyhawks on their last 5 straight possessions. Robertson, the guy that hit him first, knocked him off his path. 2nd and 12.
Watch the left side of your screen. This is how you feel in the alley if you're a safety. Sawyer Robertson comes down here now. He doesn't get the tackle, but he makes John Gentry bubble to the left while the rest of the Cowboys come. But I love the physicality by Parker Robertson. Just want to see him wrap up right there.
Oklahoma State has 6 TFLs tonight. Another hard shot on the boundary. The Oklahoma defense is awake. Kenneth Harris lays the wood to the tailback. Just 4 on that completion.
Seems like that scoring drive has woke up this Cowboys defense, James. Look at him drop the shoulder on him. Right now, these DBs are playing physical, and if you're Todd Grantham, you have to love it.
Harris played in 12 games as a backup last year. Third down for UT Martin, 3rd and 8.
Get back there!
Bauer outside the pocket, has his man on the run. He connects with Deuce Oliver, who was like the 6th receiver on the depth chart, but they've had so many injuries at that position that here he is coming up with a 17-yard grab.
And James, good things happen when Jace Bowers used his legs. That was all off platform. Didn't like what he saw. Great job by the offensive line protecting. He rolls out to his right. Deuce Oliver uncovers, and he gets a big completion for a 1st down on 3rd down.
A pause in the action. Was there a timeout? 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Both teams.
Timeout, Oklahoma State. 1st of the half. They are challenging the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field was a completed catch for a 1st down. Previous plays under further review.
So our first challenge of the season. "17 yards on the pitch and catch." Oklahoma State leading by 13 here at home. Mike Gundy has never lost a home opener. Haas Haney started the game, got knocked out on that 3rd series, went to the locker room. It's been Zane Flores since. Haney is out with a lower body injury. Here's what's under review.
Looks like he had 2 or 3 steps in bounds, James. I wonder if the ball was bobbling when he corralled it. Let's see from this look. It looks like possession right there. He's already got a foot in bounds. I believe that's going to stand as a catch.
The ruling on the field is upheld. Oklahoma State does not have any more challenges for the game. To be charged a timeout, it'll be the 1st of the half.
So the play stands, 17 yards on the pitch and catch. That might be the best review we've ever been a part of.
Very quick.
I think it took less than 40 seconds.
I was going to say, James, we didn't get to play our games. For people watching the game, me and James, when challenges always happen, we always like to bet who's going to get it right and who's going to get it wrong, and we keep a tally for the entire year. So we didn't even get to do that. That challenge was upheld so quick.
Well, just trying to improve on that 80% hit rate that we've put together over the last couple of years. 1st and 10, UT Martin. Still within striking distance here late in the 3rd. Bauer, pressure comes, gets rid of it quickly, and too tall, intended for Bryce Bailey on the boundary.
And he had what he wanted. He had off-man coverage. Parker Robinson, number 8, was covering. Bryce Bailey up top. He was off-man. And this is a timing-based rhythm, right? He looks the safety off, but because that blitzer came in, the ball kind of came out of his hand weird and it floated on him.
This game hasn't had any turnovers. There's been 9 combined penalties. It's been somewhat conservative play calling on both sides. Oklahoma State nursing a 13-point lead. Bauer up the middle, and Bauer slithers towards the 1st down marker. He'll be just short. They give him 8. right knee down at the Oklahoma State 48-yard line.
Officials timeout.
And an injured Cowboy.
Of a defensive player.
It's a nice job. This is a quarterback counter. You pull both offensive linemen around the corner. Jace Bowers just follows them downhill. He does a really good job being physical right there. Mike Moment, number 65, does a really good job once pulling, getting to the second level.
An injury timeout. Oklahoma State defensive end Deshaun Brown, who had 14 tackles last year, nearly 4 tackles for loss. He had 4 quarterback hurries, had a couple of sacks against Kansas last season. A big part of that, what is about a 11-man rotation on the Oklahoma State defensive line this season.
Yeah, James, and Todd Grantham had highlighted him. He said he was a guy that's going to rotate pretty early on in this game. Going back to what we talked about earlier, they feel like this is the deepest D-line they've had in years, and you see it. They're coming at this Skyhawk offense in waves. Now, the offensive line for the Skyhawks has really stood up in this third quarter, being able to create some holes. You saw right there Jace Bowers with a big run on second down. John Gentry had some big runs on that first drive in the third quarter. So it's been a nice battle in the trenches between these two groups.
When Coach told us that it was the best D-line he's had in 20-plus years, that really, I was shocked by that, because Oklahoma State surrendered so many yards last year on the ground. They lose their top guy on paper, who transfers to BYU, Kirkland, the defensive end. But what does that say about Demarion Thomas, who transfers over from Vanderbilt at nose? They've got Diatta, a transfer from Virginia, then Oates back, and Johnson back, and Brown back from last year's team.
Yeah, it shows the growth of guys that were on the roster last year who've taken the next step in Todd Grantham's defense, but also they brought in some really good players. We didn't even mention Wendell Gregory, who again in the first half had 3 sacks. So it's been a nice mixture of guys that were already on the roster from the previous defensive staff to this staff, but also some new fresh blood that they've brought in that have played some pivotal roles early in this game.
And what have you seen from Todd Grantham schematically in the way he wants to scheme and approach opposing offenses?
So he's an attacking style play caller, right? There'll be times where he has a whole bunch of guys in the line of scrimmage and he'll drop out and simulate a pressure. There's times he brings pressure, but he kind of really harped on the defensive line controlling this defense. And we've seen at times them take over this game.
3rd and short for UT Martin, tight set. They sweep it around the edge and pick up the first down with Scotty Alexander, a backup receiver last year, former Tulsa signee. A first down for the Skyhawks. They're now 5 for 11 on 3rd downs. New set of downs to play with. Up the gut, Franklin runs into a wall inside the 40. A gain of 3 to the Oklahoma State 39. Brandon Rawls comes up to make the stop.
This is usually the area or part of the field where a team might take a shot down the field, right? You got 3 yards on that first down. You're in plus territory. This is where, if you're on the defense for the Cowboys, you got to have a heightened sense of urgency because they may take a shot down the field.
Franklin knifing inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. A gain of 5. Sets up 3rd and very short. Tajay McCoy, the tackler that time for the Cowboys defense. But UT Martin's started converting on these 3rd downs. It's the 9th play of this drive.
Look for Jace Bowers to be involved in the run game right here on 3rd and short.
He's carried the ball 8 times tonight for 30 yards.
It's like coach might run this down and call a timeout. Oh.
They get it off. Franklin probing for a first down. Did not get a real friendly spot.
They gave it to him.
That will move the chains. UT Martin has picked up 3 straight 3rd downs. They're all of a sudden 6 for 13 on 3rd in this contest.
And they've done a really good job in being third and manageable. In the one long third down, we saw Jace Bowers get outside the pocket and find Bruce Oliver on an off-platform throw. So I love the mixture of the run and pass on this drive. They're methodically moving the ball down the field.
Ainsley, cut down. A gain of a couple. A UT Martin touchdown on this drive would take the air out of T. Boone Pickens Stadium here in Stillwater.
And I would say out of the Cowboys defense, right? We're talking about 10-plus plays on this drive. That wears a defense down. They've been able to run the ball and consistently pick up first downs on third and short.
That will send us to the fourth quarter. Second down and 8 when we come back. Oklahoma State nursing a 13-point lead through 3 quarters. The Oklahoma State defense, they came alive in that third quarter, but now trying to get off the field. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Back here in Stillwater, an Oklahoma State tradition. Striped overalls and friends in low places.
Gotta love it. College football is back.
The fans have stuck around. This one, it hasn't been pretty, but Oklahoma State has a 20-7 lead. UT Martin, second down and 8. This has been a solid drive for the Skyhawks. Bauer powering towards the 25-yard line. And UT Martin, there's only been 3 possessions in this second half. There were 3 drives in the third quarter, and UT Martin had 2 of them.
Yeah, they controlled the ball for 10 minutes and 36 seconds in the third quarter, and this is completing from the third corner. We talked about it earlier, Jace Bowers. He's not a little guy, right? 215, 220 pounds. You saw it right there. He was stopped for probably 1 yard, continues to turn the legs, gets 3 or 4 extra yards. Again, keeping it in third and manageable.
Third and 4. Pressure. Bauer floats it. Intercepted. The first turnover of the game. An Oklahoma State takeaway. Cale Smith matches his season total from last year with the pick.
And right there, Todd Grantham decides to heat it up. He had been leaning on his defensive line to rush forward, but they send a little bit extra pressure. UT Martin goes mesh concept, crossing patterns. See it right there, number 26 comes in with a big hit. As Jacoby Oliphant, he does a good job getting in the middle on that pass rush game, causing Jace Bowers to throw off his back leg. The ball just floats in the air. A nice job by Cale Smith to come away with a big turnover for the Cowboys defense.
The tailback for Oklahoma State is Freddie Brock. Same floors. The quarterback looping has his man. It's nearly picked. Too much air underneath it. Wanted Christian Fitzpatrick. Josh Hastings was on the coverage.
And it was a double move. You're going to see Christian Fitzpatrick down bottom. Slant go. It's a sluggo. Corner bites on it, but nice job by Josh Hastings getting over the top and almost comes away with it, which would have been a big turnover for the Skyhawk defense, but he drops the ball.
On second down and 10, Brock up the middle, and he is hit immediately. A loss of a yard. There's an injured offensive lineman down for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State averaging 2 points. The Cowboys are averaging 2.8 yards per carry. They've rushed it 30 times for 85 yards, and that is their starting center, Kason Carpenter. Transfer from Tulsa. 873 snaps last year for the Golden Hurricane. Just 1 sack allowed. After the pick, Oklahoma State looking at third down and 9. Austin Kowecki has checked in at center, the junior from Frisco. Floors. Scrambling, bouncing. Flores has the first down. He is a capable runner. 19 yards, McRae applying the pressure.
I mean, what a Houdini act by Zane Flores. He makes a couple defenders miss, picks up a crucial first down, backed up.
See if that can spark the Oklahoma State offense. In the flat, they hit Freeman, and Freeman has a first down, a gain of 12, and Oklahoma State with back-to-back first down plays. UT Martin calls a timeout.
Charge timeout. UT Martin for first and a half.
Oklahoma State 20-7, leading by 13. Timeout Skyhawks. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 20-7. Zane Flores turned into a battering ram 2 plays ago.
Yeah, Yasapuni comes through on a blitz. He's wide open in that B gap to get a sack, but Zane Flores just ducks under him, shows the mobility. And then on the next play, right, building confidence, finds Gavin Freeman to the flat for another first down. The quarterback is growing right in front of our eyes, James. But that play right there, that could spark something in you as far as confidence.
He's now 9 for 13 passing, 97 yards. His sidecar is Freddie Brock. Play fake. Flores looking deep. Nobody home. Gets rid of it.
He may have been down.
Throwing on the field was the runner was down prior to the pass at second down.
And it is a sack. And he goes down back at the 29-yard line. That was Keyshawn Johnson, who had 4 sacks a season ago.
And we talked about the confidence. This was a shot play. There was play action pass. They were trying to go downfield. Nice job by the Skyhawks defense in zone coverage. And Keyshawn Johnson just continues to hunt the quarterback from the backside. We've talked about Wendell Gregory for the Cowboys defense. Well, Keyshawn Johnson has been unblockable at times for the Skyhawks defense.
A loss of 10. Second down and 20, and Flores uncorks it deep. Davis can't reel it in. Doug Newsome on the coverage. It's 3rd and long.
Yeah, that ball just hung up in the air. A lot of hand fighting between Terrell Davis and Doug Newsome at the bottom of your screen. See the hand fighting right there between the two? And the ball just floated up in the air. Terrell Davis tries to come back to it, but just lost gas at the end as far as the ball.
3rd down and 20 to gain for Oklahoma State inside their own 30. Flores bouncing around, checks it down underneath, and it's incomplete. Intended target was Sam Jackson. And Oklahoma State is punting again.
Yeah, right there, Doug Meacham just tries to get an easy throw to Sam Jackson in space on a screenplay. He just isn't able to come down with the football. He actually had some blockers in front of him, so it would have been interesting, James, if he was able to come down with that ball, but he isn't able to, and the Cowboys have to punt it away.
Both defenses have come up time and time again tonight with big negative plays. 8 tackles for loss for UT Martin, 6 for Oklahoma State. The Skyhawks will have it just beyond the 20 when we come back here in the 4th quarter. What a lineup on our ESPN family of networks with Texas and Ohio State, a rematch of last year's semifinal Cotton Bowl Classic. LSU and Clemson, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern, Notre Dame and Miami. And then Monday Night Football, featuring a team from the Big 12, TCU, and Bill Belichick makes his North Carolina debut.
Getting after it with that air guitar.
You got a game you're looking forward to most this weekend?
I think the Texas-Ohio State game, right? You got Arch Manning coming in, Julian saying the new quarterback for Ohio State. That's going to be a real interesting one.
Full start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. First down.
1st and 15 now for UT Martin. Well, that's a big one. Texas and Ohio State. A 95% chance, according to the All-State playoff predictor, for Texas to make the college football playoff with a win. Even 78% with a loss.
Still sitting pretty there, huh, James?
UT Martin continues to try and establish this ground game with Chris Franklin. Now, the last two UT Martin drives ended in Oklahoma State territory. They got down to the 8-yard line. They got down to the 38-yard line. They had a punt, and they threw an interception the last two times they had the ball.
Yeah, and again, pre-snap penalties have hurt them. They just had one to start this drive, right? It keeps you behind the 8-ball. The good thing about those last two drives, they've been in third and manageable a lot, but it's tough when you're in 1st and 15.
Bauer running for his life. 3 Cowboys giving chase. Extending and darting out of bounds.
Maybe lost yards there, too. Yeah, if you're Jace Bowers right there, you're a veteran quarterback. Once you get outside the pocket and nothing is there, just throw the ball away, right? He may have only lost like 1 yard there, but there's no need, right? Just throw the ball away right there.
Goes down as a loss of 4. 3rd down. And 18 for the Skyhawks. Dancing left. Bauer trying to do it with his legs to the 21-yard line. 4th down and 11. And Jason Simpson is losing his mind on the sideline. He wanted a flag on Oklahoma State. McCoy made the stop. UT Martin will have to punt with just over 10 minutes left in the game.
That was a nice rush by number 0, Malik Charles. They moved him inside of the defensive tackle position. He's able to get Jace Bowers off his spot. Bowers is able to break through that arm tackle and get some positive yards. But again, when you're in 3rd and 14, 3rd and 10, it's tough to pick up those first downs.
4th and 11 on to punt. Van Winkle, low line driver. Freeman popped. Goes down back at the 40. An outstanding special teams tackle made by Jamal Mayers. If you're just joining us, Oklahoma State started the game with Haas Haney at quarterback. Led the Cowboys to 2 touchdowns on their first 2 drives. And then Oklahoma State went 3 and out. He took a shot on a 3rd down pass. Got knocked out of the game with a lower body injury. Went to the locker room. Haven't seen him since. We've been told he will not come back in to this contest. So it's been Zane Flores since. And he's looked a little bit more comfortable operating this offense in the second half. Snap throw to the edge. Jackson. Close to the 50. Gain of 6 yards, and it brings up 2nd down and 4.
Just an easy throw on the outside receiver screen. Nice job by number 7, Shamar Rigby, blocking on the outside to spring his receiver mate, Sam Jackson, for a 6+ yard gain.
Bailahi, nothing there on the left side, no gain. UT Martin's defense has 8 tackles for loss. The Oklahoma State defense with 7. Neither team's been able to run the ball much at all tonight. Oklahoma State 2.8 yards per carry, UT Martin 3.3. Third and 4. Flores zips in his fastball, complete for a 1st down to the 42-yard line. A gain of 10. Lofton on the receiving end.
I like that call by Doug Meacham right there. Condensed formation, right? It spreads the defense out. You have a layer throw right there from Zane Flores. He throws in rhythm and finds his receiver for a 1st down.
Miscommunication on the route. Wanted Lofton again. It's 2nd down.
Tight formation right there. You see a spot route, which the defense bites up on. He's able to find the receiver behind him. That's a nice timing throw from Zane Flores right there to DeJuan Lofton.
Freeman Twisted down. Got to the 38-yard line. Weir the tackler after a gain of 4. Gavin Freeman's had an impressive night. 5 catches, trying to get him the football in creative ways, as we saw there. Transfer from Oklahoma, where he walked on out of high school.
Yeah, James, they really like getting him the ball on the perimeter. You saw right there, even with a speed sweep, just trying to get him to the outside so he can make plays.
3rd and 5. They hit the tight end in the flat. Will Money moves the chains. It's a first down, pitch and catch, a gain of 8.
Love the play call by Doug Meacham. RPO, zone read off of it. He pulls the ball there and finds his tight end to the flat on the option read because there was a void left by the Skyhawk defense. Picks up a crucial first down.
6 plays, 30 yards on this drive for Oklahoma State. A little over 2 minutes off the timer. Bailahi to the 25-yard line. 4-yard pickup. 8 different guys have carried the rock tonight for Oklahoma State. Helmet came off, so the offensive lineman, Bob Schick, will have to come out for a play. Gage Stanlin checks in. Play clock winding down. Bailahi. 2 more for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've actually seen this Cowboy offense kind of slow things down, right? Right now they're up by 2 scores. Just trying to eat some of this clock off and potentially come away with a score here to maybe even close this game out.
3rd and 5, Oklahoma State 8 for 15 tonight on 3rd downs. Back to pass, quick throw, Bailahi tight-roping the boundary. He's in. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. 23 yards. Bailahi, a threat out of the backfield as a pass catcher.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous plays on the further review.
You're going to see to your right, your screen, Yasa Pooney, number 11. He has Bailahi in man coverage. He gets out leverage. He gets beat to the flat. And right there you see Bailahi try to tightrope the sideline. But that's a nice job right there by quarterback Zane Flores, knowing where to go with the football. And James, it looks like, ooh, maybe right there, but it looks like he tightroped that sideline.
9 plays, 58 yards if this play stands.
I think that's the one, that left foot, that's the one in question. There's Green there.
At the further review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 9-yard line. It'll be first and goal at the 9.
So it's coming back to the 9-yard line.
But what an effort play by Bailahi, trying to tightrope the sideline and get into the end zone. You see it right there, great job by our camera crew. That left foot steps out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
So it's a 14-yard gain. These reviews from start to finish have been done in record time.
It's been amazing. Amazing, like the technology that college football has now. The reviews are happening so much faster.
Oklahoma State perfect tonight in the red zone. 10th play of this drive. Bailahi wiggles down to the 6-yard line. And a lot of this drive for Oklahoma State with their backup center, Austin Kowecki, after Carpenter limped off the field with an ankle injury.
And if you're the Skyhawk defense, at bare minimum, you got to hold them to a field goal attempt, because even a field goal still makes this a 2-score game. So this is a big next couple plays for this Skyhawks defense.
And Oklahoma State trying to put this game on ice. Bailahi Gets torpedoed at the 10 by Keyshawn Johnson, who's had a monster game for the Skyhawks defense, a loss of 2.
I mean, James, he's lived in the backfield. And again, I think that was another spot where Zane Flores could have kept the ball. He has a tight end coming around with a zone read RPO option to throw it to him in the flat. He gives the ball. Keyshawn Johnson, like you said, he's lived in the backfield today for the Skyhawks defense.
Flores has carried the ball just 3 times, a long of 19. Stretch play, Vailahi wiggling, slicing, touchdown, Oklahoma State. From 9 yards away, and it's 26-7 Cowboys.
And James, it seems like offensive coordinator Doug Meacham has found something on the perimeter, on the edge. The Skyhawk defense loses leverage. Vailahi gets out to the edge. Now, this is a really nice job by Zane Flores at the mesh point. When I say the mesh point, with the ball in the running back's stomach, he holds number 51 just a little bit so he can get to the edge and get outside of him, because he has contained right there. That's Chris Wilson, number 51, has contained. He isn't able to send Vailahi back to the rest of the help of the defense. Vailahi gets to the edge and gets in the end zone.
12 plays, 58 yards, a little over 5 minutes, that drive for Oklahoma State, as they expand their lead to 27-7. 4.5 minutes left. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 27-7. After a 12-play, 58-yard scoring drive, the home opener win streaks in college football. Oklahoma State has the best mark. It's 29 straight, dating back to 1996. Alabama, Cincinnati, Clemson, Oregon, Air Force, all in the mix. Cincinnati opens up their home season next Saturday against Eddie George and Bowling Green. The Tennessee Titans legend running back is now the head coach at Bowling Green.
Who's going to be on that call, James?
2 of the best, I've heard.
That's what I've heard, too.
2 pros. But that game could be interesting.
Really good. Cincinnati currently playing right now versus Nebraska in the dogfight. I believe it's 6-3 in the second quarter. But you talked about it, right? Bowling Green with a legend at head coach in Eddie George. This will be a real interesting game up in Cincinnati next week.
UT Martin, give them credit. They have come in here as a road dog, and they have fought. They have battled. False starts becoming an issue in this second half. This time it's the left tackle, Jalen Hampton, transfer from Charlotte. That is the 7th penalty tonight on the Skyhawks.
And it's really stopped some of their drives.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
James, coaches would tell you those are drive killers, right? Pre-snap penalties, penalties that happen not in the combative play, but before. Those are all mental errors by your offensive line, jumping off sides. Again, keeping you behind the 8 ball, 1st and 15.
Bauer on a shoulder roll, searching, scanning, and winging his pass incomplete into the Oklahoma State sideline. Now the Skyhawks, they play another FBS opponent next weekend. They're at UTEP before they get back home to open up their home season September 13th against Southern Illinois. 4 straight conference championships in the Ohio Valley Big South. Won 9 games last year. Here's a look at their slate.
And if you're Coach Simpson, you have to love how your team battles, right? We talked about it, though. The unforced errors, the pre-snap penalties is what kind of derailed you in this second half. But, again, you're coming in here versus an FBS opponent, a team in the Big 12 battled through 4 quarters and had them at times on a rope. So you have to love what you saw. They came into this game dinged up too, James. So hopefully they'll get some of their, quality frontline players back before they get into conference play.
And talking with head coach Jason Simpson, NIL, the transfer portal, it has a major impact on these FCS programs. They lose a lot of guys that transfer up. They only have 7 returning starters from last year's team that made it to the second round of the playoffs. 3rd and 16 after Oklahoma State gets their 9th tackle for loss. Pass is complete to Deuce Oliver, who's been Bauer's favorite target tonight, a gain of 9, and it's 4th down for UT Martin.
They may potentially go for this on 4th down. Now since the punt needed out there.
He thought about it.
I think they were going to try to rush and see if they were going to bring on the punt return team and maybe get 12 on the field and get a free 5 yards. And then if it was 4th and 2, maybe Coach Simpson does end up going for it. But Oklahoma State defense stayed out on the field, and he sends the punt team out.
Oklahoma State was late getting a guy on the field. This one will die inside the 30 at the 29. With 2:49 left, and Oklahoma State leading by 3 scores, 3 touchdowns. It's a 20-point difference, 43-yard punt. The big storyline in this one, Haas Haney looked fantastic, but we only saw him for 3 series. He got knocked out of the game. Oklahoma State's down 3 starters in this football game. Their center, Casey Carpenter, Deshaun Brown, missed a lot in this second half, the defensive end. And they have Oregon on deck on the road next Saturday. They keep it on the ground with Caleb Hicks, who's carried the ball 19 times tonight. A gain of 5.
I mean, that was a physical run by Caleb Hicks right there. He meets Jordan Johnson in the alley, and watch how he drops the shoulder on him. Simple inside zone. You see number 10 to the left of your screen. Watch him drop the shoulder. Now, that's still a good tackle because it ends up getting him down, but that's a physical run by Caleb Hicks.
He's 215 pounds, has really strong legs. He's a big family guy, kind of quiet and reserved. Gives a lot of credit to his grandmother for his success. Said that she's always really positive and calls her the glue of the family. Here he is on the outside. A flag is out after a nice run. It could be coming back.
Yeah, Josh Ford, the tight end on the edge, right? He doesn't see where the running back is blocking. As soon as Caleb Hicks decides to go outside, he grabs the defensive end.
Offense, number 40. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down. This is the 2-minute timeout.
We've reached the 2-minute timeout here in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 27-7 here at home. Oklahoma State leads UT Martin 27-7 here in the late stages of the 4th quarter, but the big headline in this one is Haas Haney, how good he looked in the 1st quarter, then he gets knocked out of the game, doesn't play the rest of the way.
Yeah, tough to see, James. You see it right here, using his mobility on the outside to get into the end zone after the defense lost contain, throwing the ball down the field to multiple receivers. Shamar Rigby with a big catch right there. So really tough to see the young quarterback go down with an injury after having such a hot start to this game.
It'll be ground and pound the rest of the way for Oklahoma State. They've put the ball on the ground and carried it 41 times. 7 different rushers tonight. Hicks again. He had offers out of high school from Alabama, Baylor, Miami. High 4-star, went to Denton Ryan High School, and 1,500 yards rushing his senior year. Was also a really, really strong track and field athlete. Ran the 200, the 4x200 relay, the 100. 3rd and 10, play clock winding down. Oklahoma State just gets it off, and it's Hicks straight up the gut for a gain of 4. Well, your overall impressions, Lee J, of Oklahoma State, it kind of feels like we got robbed a little bit with the Haney injury of just how good this team looked when he was on the field.
Correct. Totally different team when he was manning the quarterback position. But if you're Coach Gundy, you have to love that you came away with the win and that your team handled adversity, right? The quarterback goes down, you continue to play hard. Zane Flores made some big plays. The play pass down to Terrell Davis, that big third down when he was able to evade a few defenders and pick up a crucial first down. But you talked about it, James. They got dinged up in this game, and they have a powerhouse next week when they travel to Eugene. So they'll have to go back to the drawing board and get ready. They'll have some young players that they're going to have to step up for this Cowboys team.
Second and a half.
At Oregon next Saturday, and then Tulsa here at home after a bye, and then Baylor on September 27th here in Stillwater to open Big 12 play. At Arizona, they've got Houston at home, Cincinnati at home, and every year when Oklahoma State is not expected to do much, that's when Mike Gundy has his best years at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, when you don't expect it, that's when the Cowboys make some noise in the Big 12. Last year, a lot of people picked them to finish first, and they really struggled once they got into conference play. Now, obviously, they had some injuries that helped derail their season as well. But, again, there was a lot of excitement because Haas Haney, with his ability to run the ball, also being able to throw the ball while getting outside the pocket, you saw the energy in the crowd in this stadium. Everybody was excited again. Just a tough blow for not only him, but for this Cowboys team.
Zane Flores played basically 3 quarters, 13 for 20, 136 yards passing, 3 carries for 8 yards. Oklahoma State on to punt. Chase Berry will blast this one away. And the Pokes will down it inside the 15-yard line. But it's not necessarily a knock on Flores.
No.
Haney just looked so good. Flores, it's a completely different game plan when the next guy comes in.
Yeah, the offense just flowed when Haas Haney was in the game. I talked about how him being able to run the ball opened up the pass game, and then also his comfortability throwing it on the run was on full display on those first 2 drives. We saw it, right? First 2 drives, 2 touchdown drives. On the third drive, they had a 3rd and long. He ends up getting hit when he's throwing the ball, and we don't see him for the rest of the game. But again, the offense was just flowing better when he was in at quarterback.
Handoff, and the running back is crunched. Oklahoma State extends their streak to 30 straight home opening night wins. It's the longest active streak in all of FBS. 27-7, our final here in Stillwater, and Oklahoma State is 1-0. Your overall thoughts on this one tonight?
Love, again, how this team battled adversity after their quarterback goes down. Really love the physicality of this Cowboys defense. Wendell Gregory coming off the edge, creating havoc. Love the physicality of the secondary as well. I know that was a big talking point going into this game because the defense struggled a lot last year, but I thought the defense for the Cowboys played really well, led by defensive coordinator Todd Grantham. Again, you hated that Haas Haney went down, but you love that your team came together and they battled adversity and came away with this win.
For Lige Douzable, I'm James Westling saying so long from Stillwater, Oklahoma. 27-7, Oklahoma State over UT Martin. A reminder that all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.